What is up, guys, and welcome back to Road to Glory Career Mode with Plymouth, episode number 26. And again, we've got games. We're quite a bit way through the Premier League now. Obviously, we've played 7 games, so we're just obviously going to be playing games. And as you see, we are up against Fulham first in this sim game. Obviously, Fulham came up with us last year, got a good 2-1 win against them. And I see Williams actually scored 2 goals, which is actually against his old team. We bought Williams, one of their better players off him. So, obviously, Fulham got promoted through the playoffs. And, I was expecting to win that game, even if I played it or simmed it. So, in the end, it was, I thought, a clear 3 points for us. But anyway, we had a lot harder opponent in our first playable game of the episode. It's against Spurs away at White Hart Lane. Now, we've actually beat Tottenham before in this career. We actually won them in a Capital One Cup tie, 2-1, but it was at our ground. So, the thing is with big teams on this game, you never know what you're going to get. You either get an unstoppable team or you get just complete crap. And to be fair, this game had quite a few chances actually compared to my last few games. All last episode, there weren't a lot of chances in all of the games. But as you see, somehow we took the lead very early on. Now, I brought this young Cammy who I got from Southend, Jack Payne. Now, that header is just complete class. He's about 5'7", so for a guy that big to make a header like that is fantastic. And let's see, that's his first goal of the Premier League. Now, I thought I'd bring him in to see if he's playing very well, because the thing is, a few players that I've kind of signed aren't playing that well. Williams, the Welshman who I got from Crystal Palace on a pre-contract, I just don't like him. I find him so crap. And to be fair, 7 games in, that's not very good. So I think already he'll be off on his way out at January. But yeah, I decided to bring Jack Payne in just for a bit of creativity, a bit of difference. See if he could actually prove me wrong that he's not a very bad player. And obviously he was doing it so far in the match, scored early on. But Clinton Njai, who you'll probably know from if you actually watched my Fulham career mode earlier on in the year, fantastic player, great pace, great finishing, a lot of power there. He's actually 78 on this career mode now. His 4th goal in the Premier League this season, and he makes it 1-1. So a lot going on in the first half, a lot of chances. I would say it was more me than Tottenham. And to be fair, it's actually been a lot like that so far this career mode. I've been kind of putting more chances on, pressuring teams more than they have me. And to be fair, I've kind of been dealing with that pressure quite a bit. But as you see, Zach Clough, what a freaking goal. Now this guy, I'm so happy I brought him in because he's a fantastic player. If I had to recommend any, I know FIFA's kind of coming to an end and there's only really about a month and a half left until FIFA 17 comes out. But if you're on a career mode now, I would highly recommend maybe trying this guy because I think he's such a good player. He's got everything you want in a creative midfielder, and he's just a brilliant player. And he's still quite young as well. As you see, we do go 2-1 up, and then kind of Spurs, I think, kind of thought, oh well, we should be beating this team really. We're a lot better than them, and as you see, do make it 2-2. Hewitt at the back post with Chadley. Should have maybe done better, but as you see, Chadley had the most momentum running in. Hewitt only really had his on-the-spot jumping power, and Harvey was kind of in no man's land. Not really blaming Harvey because it went over his head, and to be fair, you can't really blame him for it. But yeah, obviously Chadley puts them 2-2. He gets his 3rd goal of the season, and I was hoping to make it 3-2. And as you see, Ryan Mason, don't know what we're doing, a blatant trip as you'll see on the replay in a few seconds. He actually got red carded. For some reason he's wearing the captain's armband as well. But as you see, it's a clear penalty. He just slides in thinking he's going to win the ball, trips Hewitt over, who had a great run there. And I see Hepburn Murphy, my main guy up top, actually puts us up. So we are winning 3-2 thanks to this penalty. Vaughan should have maybe saved it really. It was just a bit higher than him, and Vaughan just went under it. So yeah, actually Hepburn Murphy is doing very well. 6 goals so far this season. And as you see, the referee blows the full-time whistle and we win the game. Somehow we beat Tottenham at White Hart Lane. A great game that is, but yeah, just quite ecstatic with myself to be fair. Anyway, Crystal Palace was our next sim game. Drew that 1-1 at home. Then we had a Capital One Cup game tie sim the last one, which was against Arsenal, which we also won 2-1, and now we had to beat Southampton this time. We drew with them 3-3 in normal and extra time, but we did actually beat them on pens 4-3. So again, we are through to the next round. Harvey did get, the little plaster band saying he's injured, but he was only out for 3 games, so he was actually fit enough to play this game against Swansea. Now, Swansea in the league at this moment in time are at the top of the table, and they're doing very, very well. So, going into the game, I'm thinking, it'd be an easy win. But until I looked at the table, I was quite nervous about actually playing her. Now, to be fair, if you're going to give chances like this to the top of the table, it's just, what am I doing? I should have just kicked it right upfield. They wouldn't have got that goal. Paloschi, the Italian that actually only lasted 6 months at the club in real life, just gets settled by Montero. He runs him behind, and he shouldn't really be missing from there with a 1-on-1. So yeah, basically give him a goal. Paloschi, one of the top scorers in the league, and to be fair, if you are playing for one of the best teams in the league at the moment, you should be really. But as you see, we tried to get a goal here. Heber, Murphy, a good chance really, but it was quite a tame shot in the end. But Fabianski did kick it out. I dealt with it quite well. Give it to Henry Lansbury. He cut in with his left foot, his weaker foot, and fires in an absolute rocket. I mean, where the hell has that come from? Now, I remember I signed Lansbury in January when we was in the Championship, and at first I didn't think he was a very good player, but kind of more towards the end of the Championship season, and obviously now in the Premier League, he's just such a good midfielder. I brought in that Fusa Mensah guy, the CDM, who's now actually 76, the Man U teenager, very young player, very promising player, and like I said, he is 76. So I was kind of bringing him in, thinking like, he's going to take his players, but I just can't swap Henry out. I think he's a great player, Henry Lansbury, and he's just controlling that midfield so well. As you see, Swansea did actually have 2 good chances. One on basically the stroke of half time, he had the chance, blew the full half time whistle, and then they had that good chance which Harvey saved. And, look at this. I mean, Williams, the centre-back, Ashley Williams, sets up Caicedo. And, I mean, it's a great strike. But, I mean, Harvey should maybe be saving that. Now, the thing is, Harvey is 78 rated. And this season, I think he's letting in a few clangers. And I'm not really happy with him at the moment. He needs to start... Don't get me wrong. He does save a lot of shots in games, but kind of when it matters, he lets a lot in, and he's a frustrating. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't blame him for the first one because that was my fault. But, that goal there, I thought he should have maybe saved that. It was at his near post. But, yeah, disappointingly, we will lose that game. I mean, to be fair, I shouldn't really be disappointed with that because it is Swansea. They are at the top of the table at the moment. But, there again... You look at the squad, they haven't made that many improvements, but there again, they're at the top of the table. So, yeah, I don't really have a leg to stand on. Realistically, as a newly promoted team, I should be losing that. But, I thought I played kind of as well as them, but, it's just one of those things. Anyway, we had an even harder opponent in the second game, which was Man City. Now, there was one chance in the first half, and it was Sterling who actually got saved. His shot got saved onto the post by Harvey. Finally saving a good shot there. But yeah, that was it for the first half. Not a lot going on whatsoever. And to be fair, not a lot went on in this game anyway. I mean, basically, they had a chance in the first half, and that was it. I had a chance in the second half, and then, I see, I was trying to push on with a goal. Man City didn't really show a lot in the second half. They didn't really show off all game. But as you see here, Jack Payne, who I thought played brilliantly in the last 2 games, I give him another start here. Actually, he turns Marcelo of all players, the left back officer from Real Madrid. I think everyone knows him. It's a brilliant finish with his weaker foot as well, because he's left-footed, and actually put us 1-0 up. Now, the thing is, with the bigger clubs we're playing, they're thinking, newly promoted side, Plymouth, will play our youngsters. Now, I've come up against a lot of teams, bigger teams, and they aren't playing the youngsters, and that's kind of going against them. They have this Angus Gunn guy in net who's like 60 rated. So, it's kind of helping me. And to be fair, I'm not really complaining about it. But yeah, anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have, please hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. And guys, I'll be seeing you later. Peace!